Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria, the capital city of the province of British Columbia here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody is having a good weekend so far, staying strong, staying healthy, staying productive. Welcome Andre, Pavan, Jainil. Good to see our members. Welcome to our moderator, Carolina. Good to see many students. Jim, Manika, Dilshad, Arda, Thushara, Deepal. Welcome to you all. In this class, we are looking at speaking part 3 and discussing what it takes for Band 9 interviews, and we will be practicing for those Band 9 interviews. This lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. That's academicenglishhelp.com, as well as gieltshelp.com. gieltshelp.com, that's generalieltshelp.com. Those are our web portals with lots of videos, strategies, practice exams, interactive courses, and much, much more. This is our General IELTS website here with the green background. You can click that big red button to join our premium package. It's a one-time payment, very cost-effective, not much money, and you get lifetime access. We are a British Council IELTS Test Registration Center and certified agents for the academic IELTS. Visit us here. It's the blue background. Click this big red button here to join our premium package there. And if you would like to get our apps, search for Academic IELTS Help and General IELTS Help in your app store. Link the app to your web account for a truly amazing learning experience. And you can follow us on Instagram, IELTS_AEHelp and GIELTS Help. And you can send me an email at adrian@aehelp.com. Welcome, Rajveer. Good to have you in the class. All right, Arda, you will definitely not go wrong by purchasing the premium package. Lots of content there for you. So everyone, after this class today, you will have 3 days with no classes. That's usual, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. And then on the 7th, on Wednesday, I'm back with speaking part 1 for these live classes. And we have live classes all the way until Saturday the 10th. I will post this new schedule on our YouTube community board. Okay, so here we go with some speaking. All right, so please speak and repeat throughout this session. It is great practice to speak and repeat. So typing your answers, it's great. As you type, after you type, say your answers nice and loud, enunciate. Imagine that you're trying to get a role in a movie and you are acting the parts and you're really speaking like an actor with lots of pronunciation and lots of enunciation. Okay? All right. So speaking part 3, it's the last part of your speaking interview. You're going to get about 4 or 5 questions from the examiner that follow from part 2, the part 2 topic. They will be more detailed. They will be about some specific concepts around nature, humanity, society. It's not necessarily about you, so you're speaking more about ideas. It's like discourse. It's like talking politics with your neighbor, okay? So think about it that way. All right, so the examiner might say something more like, let's talk more about having fun. I thought we'd kind of end this week's classes on a fun set of questions. So let's talk more about having fun. Why is it important for people to have fun every once in a while? Let's start with that question. That's a good one. So give me a nice full sentence answer for this. I'm not going to go in order. I'm going to jump around in the questions today, so don't try to predict what's coming next. Just go with the question that you see. So here the first question is, why is it important for people to have fun every once in a while? Give me a nice full sentence answer. Remember to speak, not just write. Give me an explanation and give me an example as well, okay? Use your quantitative language. While you do that, I'm going to start, just to keep us really rolling. All right. Arda says, it is important for people to have fun every once in a while because human beings need to refresh their minds and souls to be active in life. For example, I usually kick back after studying. All right, Arda. Yeah, it's not bad. Refresh their minds. It's kind of an awkward expression. So they need to refresh or they need to rejuvenate. Okay, use that word instead, Arda, rejuvenate. It's nice vocabulary. And rejuvenate means to regain life energy. So it's nice vocabulary and it makes a little bit more sense than to refresh a person's mind. It sounds like your mind is a computer where you have to, or an internet browser where you have to refresh it to make it work again. The mind's not quite like that. So even though there are some similarities between technology and our mind, we sometimes avoid it because it sounds strange. So rejuvenate is better. So to rejuvenate, to regain life energy. Okay, just use that word. Otherwise, a pretty good answer. Avoid saying "for example," Arda. Because as soon as you say, for example, depending on your examiner, they might cut you off. Okay, so be careful about that. All right, Kevin says people should enjoy a dose of entertainment every now and then to keep stress free in daily life and to keep the daily grind at bay, as well as to remain resilient in the face of adversity. I embrace this philosophy by treating myself to some game time after half an hour of intense IELTS training, which both clears my mind and instills me with positivity. All right, Kevin, good answer, good ideas. I changed some of the wording. Notice that enjoy some dose of entertainment. It's not some dose of entertainment. It's a dose of entertainment. A dose actually means some dose, but it's the way we express that naturally. Okay, so good. Yeah, you're getting into some high-level tricky language there, Kevin. Excellent. Okay, push your limits. Push your boundaries. That's good. Dawal Baria says, it is important for people to have fun because people then feel relaxed, such as when watching some funny movies. Dawal, you have some missing vocabulary in your sentence, so be careful. Make sure to speak in full sentences and have all of the necessary verbs, nouns, adjectives, adverbs. Rajveer says, it is vital to spend some time for enjoyment once every week, not only to unwind, but also to socialize. I play Scribble, an online game with my friends, each Saturday just to relax and improve my imagination. Good, nice, smooth, flowing example. And yes, students, part 3 is not about you, and sometimes examiners will kind of look at you weird if you start saying I, but That's okay, as long as your example is a very clear reflection of your answer, explanation, then it is really good to include that. You see, I'm doing the same. So here is what I said. Make sure to speak and repeat. Why is it important for people to have fun every once in a while? It is vital for individuals to enjoy life every now and then so that they can let go of stress and be motivated for future productivity and success. I always take a few hours a week to watch a movie and play games with friends to propel me into the next day of work at the office, or the next week of work at the office. Okay, so notice why is it important for people to have fun? It is vital for individuals. Important, vital. People, individuals. Have fun, enjoy life. Every once in a while, every now and then. So I'm paraphrasing. I'm starting my sentence the same as the question, but with slightly different words, so that it shows the examiner that I've got great lexical resource, I'm fluent, and I understand the question. Clear? Okay? That's what you want to do, all right? So you want to be very, well, let's say professional in your responses, okay? And then you'll get a follow-up question in part 3 oftentimes, like, what happens if people don't have fun every now and then? All work, no play makes Adrian angry. So what happens if people don't have fun every now and then? Again, give me a nice full sentence answer for this. Use the question, give an explanation, and give a smooth flowing example. Okay. Zathara, if the screen is not clear for you, change your resolution to 720p. Okay. Arda says, if individuals don't have fun every now and again, they will probably be stuck and also reach their limits while working or studying. That may lead to not being productive. I make sure to reward myself to avoid this situation. Okay. Good. Let's see some more answers. Lily says, people should take a break by having fun, which can help individuals to rejuvenate and release stress. Just yesterday, I had a great day playing Uno with relatives after a rough week. I love that game, Uno, Lily. I think that was your previous answer, or your answer to the previous question. It's really good. Okay, let's go to this one. Okay, Ois says, actually, there are some dangerous implications if people do not practice fun. Very nice start, Ois. In this case, they would be more depressed, and they would become irritable and less focused on their jobs. Yeah, a couple of corrections, Ois. When you say depressed and sadness, being sad is being depressed. Depressed actually is the next evolution or step to being sad. So you don't have to repeat yourself. Avoid repetition of ideas in that way. So don't say depressed and sad, just depressed, okay? Or they will suffer from depression. Instead of saying become angry quickly, a nicer way to express that is to become irritable, okay? So another piece of vocabulary for you. Okay, irritable. It comes from the word, think of the word irritate. To irritate someone, it means to annoy someone. And if a person is irritable, it's kind of an awkward pronunciation, but irritable, it means to become frustrated or angry easily and quickly. If Grandpa hasn't had his morning cup of coffee, he becomes very irritable. Okay? All right, so what happens if people don't have fun every now and then? Well, When people are unable to have a bit of fun at times, they tend to become depressed and irritable. In the long run, this could lead to severe physical and psychological disorders. So it is best to avoid it at all costs. Some businessmen have this challenge and eventually burn themselves out. Okay. So here is my answer explanation example. I'm not taking a personal example this time, but the example of the classic businessman who's overworking, overtired, and under-relaxed, not having enough fun. Here we go. Repeat after me. So what happens if people don't have fun every now and then? Well, when people are unable to have a bit of fun at times, they tend to become depressed and irritable. In the long run, this could lead to severe physical and psychological disorders, so it is best to avoid it at all costs. Some businessmen have this challenge and eventually burn themselves out. A couple of idioms that I'm teaching you here, you might have caught on. Okay. So it is best to avoid it at all cost. Okay, avoid it at all cost or avoid it at all costs means to basically not do that, or to, how should I say this, avoid it at all costs, to, regardless of the consequence, not do it. So even if it means you're losing money or you lose your company, you still have to have fun, because at the end of the day, it's more important to live and be happy than to have tons of money. So you have to avoid this at all costs where you're not able to have some fun, okay? It's an expression or an idiom. And then the other idiom here is to burn out. To burn out basically means to become depressed, irritable, to become useless, to lack energy, to lack motivation, to burn out, okay? That's what that means. So you don't have to use very fancy idioms in the IELTS speaking, but you should use some simple idioms and expressions like avoid it at all costs and burn out. Okay? So make sure to use these. Okay? So burn out, to reach a state of being where a person lacks motivation and energy. Okay? And avoid at all costs. It means to not do regardless of consequence. Okay? So remember those, think about those, use them, practice them, okay? That's what you should do. All right. Kushvaktova Munisha says, how many idioms should we use in the IELTS exam? There's no magical answer or number to that, Kushvaktova. Basically, use them sparsely, 10 maybe throughout the speaking. What's most important is that you use them accurately and naturally. So don't force them, okay? So use idioms and expressions naturally in IELTS. Do not force them. Sounds really awkward. All right. Okay. Talking about fun, places where people have fun are recreation and activity centers. So let's jump a little bit here and let's go to another topic. The IELTS examiners have several topics in their toolkit related to part 2. So if part 2 was about some kind of a place for entertainment or some kind of a place for fun, they could be asking you about having fun. They could also be asking you about places where people have fun. Places where people have fun are places like recreation centers or activity centers, okay? In Canada, US, we usually call them recreation centers, or we even shorten it. We call them rec centers. Okay, so if you're ever visiting Canada or the US, you might not even hear the word recreation center. You might just simply hear the short version, which is rec center. Okay, all right. So let's see what people think about this. Here's the question. What are some common facilities available in recreation centers? Okay, so what are some common facilities available in recreation centers? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. While we wait, Trung Tien is asking, teacher, can you show us what method can be used to learn vocabulary, grammar, collocation effectively in the same time? Trung Tien, to do that, you want to first focus on each of these individually and then put them together. I'll do a lesson on vocabulary learning, and there is kind of a special process to do that, what you're asking, by learning vocabulary. We have that process explained in our course on our website at aehelp.com and gieltshelp.com. So basically learning vocabulary in context with grammar, making it unique, including yourself, making complex compound sentence. Okay. All right. What are some common facilities available in recreation centers? Make sure that we focus on this question. This is why I said this at the beginning of the class, so you're not preloading your questions. I want you to be spontaneous. You have to be dynamic in your IELTS speaking exam. So I want you to practice that today, okay? Feeling World says, sir, are all people asked the same question in the IELTS exam? No, absolutely not. They have lots of different questions. The examiner, Feeling World, actually has a book full of questions with them. So they choose different questions, different part 2 for every student on the day of the exam. Okay, Deepika says, I've never been to a recreation center, but I think there will be billiards, table tennis, chess, carom board, and other games. Sure, Deepika, if you've never been to a recreation center, that's fine. You've done a great job to answer the question what you think is there. Why not? And in fact, a lot of what you just said can be found at recreation centers. Okay? So very good. Yeah, exactly. Don't say, oh, I don't know, I've never been to a recreation center. It's very difficult to get a high band score if you just answer negatively and shut down. Okay? Paulo Reis says, common facilities in recreation centers are swimming pools, football fields, basketball, and volleyball courts. These are what people most search for. As yesterday, a cousin of mine called me asking for swimming pools nearby my house. Paulo, that is a beautiful answer. Say it fluently like I just did, and I guarantee that that will be a Band 9 answer, no question. So that is what's needed for a Band 9 response. I'm going to take Paulo's response because it's so good. Okay, so common facilities. And notice how Paulo's not overthinking it. Paulo's just simply taking the topic right out of the question, common facilities, okay? Common facilities in recreation centers or in rec centers are swimming pools, football fields. If you're British, you'll say football pitch. Okay, so football field is Canadian or American. Football pitch is British. Notice how Paulo did a really good job of parallel plural forms. So swimming pool, z, s. Football field, z, s. Okay, that's good to have that parallel plural form. Or swimming pool, football field, d, singular. Okay, so it's really good. Basketball and volleyball courts. Showing some really nice and accurate lexical resource. So Paulo clearly knows that we're talking about fields and courts and pools. Okay, those are different qualifiers. Very good. These are what people usually search for at these venues to get some physical exercise while having fun with others. So I ramped up your explanation a little bit, Paulo. And then very nice, right into your example. As yesterday, my cousin a cousin of mine called. Yeah, sure, why not? Sounds natural and original. A cousin of mine called me asking for swimming pools nearby my house. All right. Thank you for sharing, Paulo. Good job. So here, just again, repeat after me. What are some common facilities available in recreation centers? Common facilities in rec centers are swimming pools, football fields, basketball and volleyball courts. These are what people usually search for in these venues, at these venues to get some physical exercise while having fun with others. As yesterday, a cousin of mine called me for swimming pools nearby my house. Very good. Okay, nicely done. Okay. Amit says, there are lots of facilities that are present in recreation centers like chess games as well as swimming pools. I always go to the center near my house for swimming purposes once a week. Very good, Amit. Just a couple of small corrections, but overall, very nice. All right. Janil says, swimming pools, meditation rooms, gyms, and different types of sports therapy centers as well are available in rec centers. They provide several amenities according to the taste of different people, according to the preference of different people. In my vicinity, SS Patel Rec Center has around 10 to 12 different types of activities. Some of them I have just told you about. Okay, very good, Janil. Nice. All right. Deepika, I'm not sure what you're asking me about. Do I say only my second sentence? So you're going to have to clarify that. Send me an email on that, okay? Because I'm not sure what you're referring to. Yeah, there can be different kinds of things or different kinds of therapies at rec centers as well, like massage centers and physiotherapy, okay? Depending, okay? Natri Kloruasan says, Adrian, how to be flexible in part 3 questions, because whenever they give a question, I always need some time to think, usually in a way which is out of the question. Okay, Natri, you shouldn't do that. Natri Klora, you shouldn't do that. You should stay on topic, okay? If your mind is going off topic, train yourself to stay on topic, focus on topic. That's why it's a really good idea to use the question in your answer, as I have shown with these examples, and also to buy time. So it's okay to say, well, I'm not sure because I don't usually go to rec centers. Just give me a moment to think about it. Okay, so it's okay to start with that. Okay. Yeah, okay, Deepika, I get what you're asking. Yeah, you could just start with your second sentence, but I think it's fine to start with your first sentence, just like I said for the previous question. So it's okay to say that you're not 100% sure because you don't have any rec centers near your home and you usually don't go to these places. But from what you have seen on television and heard from friends, recreation centers usually have swimming pools, sports courts, and fields, okay? So, yeah, buy some time, and it's okay to start by saying you're not sure and then thinking about it more. Okay, let's go to the next one. So I'm getting into some challenging questions here for you. Challenging you on this beautiful Saturday. Here we go. Next one. Is it the government's responsibility to build public recreation centers, or should they be privately owned? So here, the examiner is basically giving you an option of from two choices. Okay, so governments fund public recreation centers, or private investment should fund public recreation centers. What do you think? Okay, think about the real world. Think about how it's done in the real world. And then quickly think about why it's done like that. What are the benefits? What are the negatives, advantages, disadvantages? And I'm sure you'll come up with a great answer. Okay. All right. So give me a nice full sentence, answer, explanation, example. Meanwhile, Hari Krishna is asking, how do I overcome nervousness while speaking? Krishna, you can overcome nervousness with lots of practice, being prepared. Preparation is one of the most important points to keep in mind for building confidence. And then, of course, just going to the exam center early, finding other candidates to talk with, to practice with before you're speaking, and visualizing your examiner kind of like your grandfather or your grandmother, somebody who loves you and won't judge you. And keeping in mind that that examiner sees dozens of candidates during that day or during the couple of days that they're doing the exam. So they're not going to remember you. There's going to be people who are worse, who are better. Just do your best, right? Take it easy, relax. You're there to do a job, do the job, get out, all right? Okay, so those are just some quick tips on how to build confidence, okay? Ramneek says, I think privately owned rec centers are perfectly fine, but the government should definitely support some rec centers where there aren't any. Ramneek, that's a great start. My question to you is why? Why do you think governments should support them where there aren't any? What's the reason for that? Okay. All right. Yeah, contractions are absolutely okay to use in your speaking, and you should use them, Hemangi. Okay. Kevin says, I think states should not only subsidize the construction of certain fun places that serve the wellness of the community, like sports grounds. As regards for profit locations like malls and cinemas, they should be financed by the public sector, as these locations are money-making tools for private companies. Okay, Kevin, technically in Canada, we wouldn't consider the mall at the cinema a rec center necessarily, okay? So rec centers are just buildings or facilities that specifically focus mostly on sports and community activities. So you're a little bit off topic. You have to be careful about that. Stay specific, okay? Deepika says, I think governments should take responsibility to build and manage public rec centers, because people of all classes will be able to afford it. Every single person will have access to recreation. Good, Deepika. And why is that good? Why would that be in the government and society's interest for all people to access recreation centers? Okay, think about that. Okay, Ramneek continues by saying, for example, if we don't come across any rec centers in small towns, if the government build one, they would be extremely beneficial for the people living there. Okay, Ramneek, that's good continuation. Why? Why would they be beneficial for people there? Okay. Dibarak Atem says, privately owned rec centers are appropriate as they are properly maintained. Since people pay for their services, they become crucial investments to those who own them. Yeah, that's a solid answer, right? There's no right or wrong answer here. You could go with privately owned or publicly owned, government owned, as long as you can explain it. They both exist, right, for a good reason. Okay. All right. So let me give you an answer, and then we'll go forward. So although there is nothing wrong with privately owned rec centers that may give very high quality services and products, I do believe it is primarily the responsibility of governments to invest tax money into building and maintaining these facilities because it leads to the overall well-being of the populace in regards to physical and mental health. These centers build community spirit, and in the end, increase the quality of life in the nation. Okay, and that is one of the big reasons that in Canada you will find a state-of-the-art recreation center in just about every community, and it is government subsidized. So in my area in Victoria, I have a rec center very close nearby, only a 5-minute walk. It's called Crystal Pool Rec Center. They have a pool, they have different kinds of courts and fields, and a gym, and it only costs, I think, $50 a month for a membership, which here does not mean much money at all, and you can use the facilities as much as you want, as often as you want, for that $50. So it's just over $1 a day, or well, maybe closer to $2 a day, but still not very much at all, considering the cost of living and wages in Canada. And it definitely helps people to have fun and stay fit and contribute more to society. So here we go. One more time from the top. Although there is nothing wrong with privately owned rec centers that may give very high quality services and products, I do believe that it is primarily the responsibility of governments to invest tax money into building and maintaining these facilities because they lead to the overall well-being of the populace in regards to physical and mental health, and these centers build community spirit and in the end increase the quality of life in the nation. Okay. So Pavan is asking, what's the price of only the gym in Canada? Is it $15? It really depends where you go to. There are some gyms that are very, very cheap, and there are some gyms that are very, very expensive. So you have to do your research. Okay. All right. Let's take another question. Let's hop back to talking about fun. Okay. Let's jump to this question here. How have people's entertainment activities changed in the last 20 years? This question, notice, is asked using present perfect grammar. Have changed. So you must answer this one using the present perfect grammar. Okay? So use the present perfect grammar. Okay, so how have people's entertainment activities changed in the last 20 years? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Okay, answer, explain, example, use the present perfect. Okay, nice fast typing, Kevin. Okay, because that was a surprise. Nobody knew what question was coming next, and that's quick. Kevin says, people's leisure pursuits have shifted from activities in the real world, such as traveling and going out with friends, to those online. In fact, a large number of young people these days have gravitated towards snuggling up on their couch, going traveling vicariously through YouTube videos of other people. Yeah, Kevin, are you suggesting something here? Very nice answer, Kevin. I really like your use of present perfect. That would get you a band 9 for sure. Okay, so have shifted. Notice the use of language by Kevin here. So Kevin is, instead of saying have changed, have shifted. Okay. It's another way to say have changed. And another one that Kevin is using is have gravitated. Okay, to gravitate, it's an interesting use of the word gravity as a verb, means to be attracted to have an affinity towards, okay? Okay, so to gravitate towards something. Very nice use of words, Kevin. Thank you for sharing, all right? Okay, so let's see. Muniz says, because of the development of technology, the entertainment types for individuals have changed dramatically. Muniz, good. It's a good start. It's not have been changed. It's not passive. They're actively changing. Okay, so they have changed. Okay, it's actively changing. All right. Samuel Yao says, in the last 20 years, people are more in touch with electronic devices and it reduces interaction between youth. They tend to spend more time on the internet rather than talking to people. Okay, it's not bad, except you're a little bit generalizing and you're not on topic enough. So Samuel Yao. Okay, Samuel, focus on the idea of the question. The question says entertainment activities. You're simply talking about activities in general, and I can kind of guess what you're saying, but you have to be more specific and emphasize entertainment. Okay, so for enjoyment, for fun. All right, so make sure that's a part of your answer, Samuel. Okay. Ramnik says, instead of reading books or newspapers or listening to the radio, people have taken to using their smartphones and computers for entertainment purposes like watching movies, videos, memes, and playing video games. Very good, Ramnik. Ramnik is using a nice piece of vocabulary that I feel you should learn if you don't know it. Have taken to. Another way to say this is have grown a liking for. Okay, these are not only present perfect, but they're also idiomatic expressions. To take to something or to grow a liking for something means to learn to enjoy or to develop enjoyment for something. And using that in the present perfect is absolutely brilliant. Your examiner will pick up on it, and they will give you a nice high band score when you're using that type of language, okay? So have taken to, have grown a liking for, to develop an interest and enjoyment for. Okay, so learn these, all right? So how have people's entertainment activities changed in the last 20 years? Well, over the past 2 decades, there have certainly been some shifts in the activities which people do to have fun. Okay. All right. So, well, over the past 2 decades, there have certainly been some shifts in the activities people do to have fun. Namely, people spend less times outdoors and with face-to-face interaction, and more time on their digital devices. Social media platforms have become the go-to for relaxing and having laughs. I know many of my friends over the past years have dedicated much time to sharing funny memes. Okay. All right. So here's an answer. It's a little bit different. Repeat after me. How have people's entertainment activities changed in the last 20 years? Well, over the past 2 decades, there have certainly been some shifts in the activities which people do to have fun. Namely, people spend less time outdoors and with face-to-face interaction and more time on their digital devices. Social media platforms have become the go-to for relaxing and having laughs. I know many of my friends over the past years have dedicated much time to sharing funny memes. So lots of present perfect, really showing the examiner that, hey, I got you, present perfect, I'm using it, I'm comfortable with it, it's all good, give me my band 9, thank you. All right, that's how it's done, students. And I'm going to stop there. You can practice more speaking and more questions on our websites. Our websites, by the way, this is aehelp.com. You can log in to your My Student account at aehelp.com, and you will find this button here, Student Partner Speaking, where you can practice with each other for free. Okay, so log in there. It will open up a new window, and you'll always find some students hanging out in here. Right now we have Adib and Musa. You can video chat, audio chat with them, maybe write them a text, say hello first, and then you can practice some speaking. There's some sample questions and speaking scripts, of course, included on that page about objects, people, places, events, and ideas. Okay? All right, so that's how it's done. Make sure to join us on our website for general IELTS. It's gieltshelp.com. You can click that big red button. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. Doesn't cost very much. You got lots of videos with me as well in HD. And I highly, highly recommend using that. That's it for me for today, everyone. Thank you, Carolina, for moderating. You've done a great job keeping the chat focused and effective. That's great. I will be back on Wednesday at the same time with Speaking Part 1 Practice, Strategy, and Tips. Thank you for your support, members, and thank you for watching, everyone. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Stay healthy, stay strong, get your vitamins in, or if you're British, you would say get your vitamins. And see you next week. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria. Much love to all of you wherever you are in this wonderful world. Bye for now.